Good morning. Welcome to Gimpy's History Corner, called Gimpy by my family. This is Casey Brewer, my youngest son's girlfriend. They live in New York City, and Casey is a long-distance runner. Here she is holding a medal she earned in a race. And the amazing news is that she's qualified for the New York Marathon. Wow. Not sure when that is. Is that in the spring, maybe? What a great accomplishment. Way to go, Casey. All right, we're on video number 159. And the topic is spiritualism. Spiritualism emerged in the mid-19th century as a religion and cultural movement centered on the belief that the living could communicate with the spirits of the dead. Wow. Its roots trace back to earlier mystical tradition, but it gained mass popularity after the famous Fox Sister seances in 1848. Emanuel Swedenborg from Sweden, 1688 to 1772, a theologian and mystic whose writings on the afterlife, especially heaven and hell, in 1758, laid intellectual groundwork for spiritualist ideas. So this is all about communicating with the dead spirits, spirits of the dead. Andrew Jackson Davis, known as John the Baptist of modern spiritualism, published Principles of Nature, 1847, and he claimed that spirits dictated that to him. Wow. The birth of modern spiritualism with the Fox Sisters of Hydesville, New York, 1848. Catherine and Margaretta Fox reported mysterious rappings in their home, which they claimed were communications from spirits. Kind of like a Morse code kind of thing. The Fox sisters were famous in the mid-1800s. Their seances attracted enormous attention, sparking a wave of interest. 1850 to 1860s, spiritualism spread rapidly with public seances, spirit photography, and trance mediums becoming popular entertainment and religious practices. Spirit photography is where you have, this was the early days of photography with the big cameras and the glass plates and so forth. And they take a picture of a guy or a woman, and when they actually develop that pictures, there would be another figure standing or sitting near the original person. And they theorized that that extra picture was a spirit, a ghost. In Britain, spiritualism crossed the Atlantic in 1852 with American mediums conducting seances in England. The author of Sherlock Holmes, Arthur Conan Doyle, was a huge spiritualist. He had children killed in wars, European wars, and he wanted to contact them. So he did a lot of traveling around, meeting with seance people and mediums. Spiritists held that spirits continue to evolve after death and can guide the living on moral and spiritual matters. Wow, that's a neat idea. Take advice from a ghost. The cultural impact, seances and mediums became fashionable among middle and upper class society, often hosted in parlors. What would a parlor be in today's architecture? Like a family room, maybe? Spirit photography and ectoplasm claimed evidence of spirits, though often exposed as frauds. There was a famous trial of a guy who was getting money from people for providing spirit photography. but he was found innocent. They did not find him guilty of fraud. They provided a dozen or so possible ways that he could be fraudulent, but they couldn't prove that he was actually doing any of those things. I went to when I was, I think, in high school or college, early days of college, I went to a presentation by I guess they call them ghost hunters in those days. People went around trying to figure out if there are ghosts in houses and things. And they had a lot of spirit photography to show. Some of them are pretty scary. You know, like a girl's school picture with her long dark hair. She's looking kind of this angle here, and you can see the back of her head. And the back of her head looked like a demon. Oh my gosh, that was scary. So some spirits are not good spirits. Okay, criticism. Figures like magician Harry Houdini dedicated his life to debunking fraudulent mediums. Yeah, he did that a lot. He was very close with his mother, and he wanted to contact his mother, who'd passed away. And before he died, he told his wife, look, if I die, or if you die first, here's this secret code of words we have just made up. And if you go to a seance and the medium says, Harry says these words, you'll know that's me. And she went back to seances for, 10 years maybe after he was dead. And nobody ever said those words. So that was Harry Houdini's final proof that these seances were not real. Okay, one of the reasons I did spiritualism is because nearby where I live in Noblesville, Indiana, is a place called Chesterfield Camp Chesterfield. It's in a small town near Anderson, Indiana, where my sons went to college. And it was started in 1886 by a guy named John Westerfield. It's called Chesterfield, but Westerfield started it, and the Indiana Association of Spiritualists. It has dormitories for when they have seasonal camps or meetings, and it has concrete seats with tables in between them, like 15 or so out in the field, where you can sit with a medium and they can tell you what they say they feel the spirits want to tell you. And they have a bookstore, spiritualist bookstores. This was the height of the spiritualist movement, because Civil War, 600,000 people died in those battles of either wounds or disease, and people were really sad. They wanted to contact their dead relatives, their sons, their fathers. So really popular, very popular. The Camp Chesterfield, you can still go there today and walk around. They maintain it. It has a church, a spiritualist church that meets every weekend, every Sunday. I've not been there on a Sunday and gone to their church, but I walked around the grounds there, and it's really cool. They have statues of different religious figures from different religions, and it's really cool. It's just a field, it's not huge. It's right behind a cemetery of some kind. But they used to be very popular. Like I said, it has like an old-timey looking hotel, which I'd call a dormitory, where they, if you went back in the early 1900s or late 1800s, you would stay there for the weekend or the week, with almost like church revivals, Now today, if you watch the Travel Channel, if you have cable, I don't have cable, or listen to podcasts, there's tons of interest in ghost hunting. They have equipment, they have spirit boxes and EMF meters and Estes method. It's where they put a mask over you and headphones on. The spirits talk to you through the Estes method. REM pods, supposed to measure whether or not there was a spirit walking nearby or floating nearby. Phasm lights and EVPs are like a little tape recorder or microphone kind of thing that you turn it on and you ask questions about the spirit. Are you here? What's your name? Blah, blah, blah. And then you play back the EVP, and if it wants to talk to you, it talks to you through that. Now, the shows I've seen, it's very hard to understand what the EVP says. It's just rah, rah. And then the show will type up the words that they think they said and show it on the screen. And everybody goes, oh, did you hear that? It just sounded like blah, blah, blah to me. But that's what they say. I don't know. I wasn't there. But it's a big business. You know, lots of people travel the country doing these investigations. And they make TV shows about it and have conventions. The spiritualist chasing of spirits has gone from seance in parlors in old Victorian homes to highly electronic technological investigations. Incredible. It's a new modern profession, ghost hunting. Now, they're not, I don't think many of them are chasing their own relatives like they were back in the day. They were trying to make contact with their dead sons or dead mothers. Today it's just almost like a sport. It's something they're interested in, finding any spirit. And of course, the Catholic Church still does exorcisms when they think a demon has taken over a human body. Priests do exorcisms. So it's a thing. I don't know how much of it's real, how much of it's fake. Probably a certain percentage of each. Okay, that's it for today. This is Saturday. This is Buckeyes Day. Buckeyes versus Indiana. I'll be putting my Buckeye stuff on later today because it's a night game. You can't go too soon on your Buckeye stuff. You gotta time it just right. Okay, you guys have a great day.